Now.
Welcome to Better Brain and Body with Billy Merritt. That's me, coming to you from my home in North Carolina. So, as your host, I am here to inspire, educate, and help you to live the healthy lifestyle that you deserve for energy, longevity, a healthy mind, and even weight loss if that's something that has been calling to you. By the way, if you have questions along the way, please feel free to drop them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. Now, today we are jumping into part 3 about your brain health and why there is now an urgent call to action specifically related to COVID. So 2 weeks ago in the part 1 class, I shared with you that 3 of my friends have reported how they contracted COVID. They were having an ongoing brain fog for over 3 months. They were feeling tired and low energy, even some anxiety and poor memory. So actually, I began to search on the web if there have been any more reports about this long-term effect from COVID. And I found several new articles recently published by Johns Hopkins, Harvard Medical School, and the Mayo Clinic, all reliable sources about this very thing. And here's what it's about. Almost 15% of people who have been contracting COVID have been dealing with a long-term recovery of measurable brain damage, believe it or not. Now, actually, a significant number of people dealing with the COVID experience symptoms of temporary damage to the neurological system or having that experience. The temporary loss of smell or taste is an example. And we often hear about that. Now, and most people get their sense of taste back within a couple weeks, thankfully. But the longer term damages are now identified and are now just starting to get out to the public, but not fast enough. So what I will be providing you today are the essential how-tos to make your brain as resilient as possible to the potential damages that can be caused by all invasive diseases, right? We're just spotlighting COVID due to these recent discoveries released by the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and Harvard. And then this is also tied in with the immune system. So we're going to be tying the immune system in with this class too. Now, thankfully, there are a number of adjustments you can make to your lifestyle with your diet and exercise and sleep, just to mention a few, that can make a world of difference to mitigate the risk of contracting any invasive disease to begin with, any flu, any infection, any strain of COVID. Now, it's partly your immune system that is orchestrated by the brain. The immune system is not this thing in your body. It's an intelligence woven into the body that all starts here. Now, by the way, you may know that brain health is actually my jam and my passion from healing my own brain. Healing my brain required only 14 years of my complete focus while having thousands of seizures during this period, which was quite inconvenient. But this provided the extraordinary opportunity to learn so much about brain health from the top doctors in the world of neurology. So you may know that I've been teaching these classes about the brain for a long time, focusing on Alzheimer's prevention, weight loss relative to brain health, mood and energy enhancement, and definitely the connection with the immune system too. All important stuff, right? Now, it was mapping out the health to my own healing now that I have these tools to share. Information out of the ordinary that I can guarantee will make a big difference for you, even if you feel you're already healthy. And because now this is an urgent matter, the time is the time to get this show on the road, right? So with these classes, I'm breaking down the most important info to make it all as easy and user-friendly as possible, okay? Now, in today's class, we're going to be focusing on exercise. Now, when it comes to exercise, here's what it boils down to. Anytime you contract a virus, it's killing off healthy brain cells. And the right kind of exercise can stimulate the production of a specific growth hormone exclusively for the brain that is all about growing new brain cells. And that's connected to your immune system too. Again, we're going to talk about that. So this class is about getting equipped with the right information for maintaining your health and safety during this pressing time, especially when it comes to your long-term well-being and your brain. So this live class, I am focusing on the right kind of exercise for how to prevent the long-term damages to the neurological system from COVID, the things to do and to not do to make your immune system as resilient as possible to mitigate the risk of COVID in the first place, and the right exercise to reverse the damages, speeding the recovery if you do contract COVID. And also, this is not just for COVID. These things that I'm sharing with you will improve every aspect of your life. So stay tuned. Just want to add in here, do you want to take your diet and brain health to new heights? I do have a product called Infinity Greens that can change your life. Just visit infinitygreens.com for more information. Now, it is known that all viruses generally attack the nervous system in some form, like we just talked about. So this 15% of COVID cases, 7 million Americans and another 27 million people worldwide are victim to this brain damage that's more significant than just what you would get from the brain damage from the common flu. And it's causing the ongoing cognitive and psychological problems, including memory and attention, and actually later leading to even anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. So to heck with that. This discovery by doctors from Johns Hopkins and Harvard Medical School found that what it is, it's these large cells, okay, called megakaryocytes. Megakaryocytes are being found in the brain, in brain capillaries of individuals who've died from COVID-19. Knock on wood, that's not you. And megakaryocytes make platelets. This is part of the body's natural clotting system. But these cells should not be found in the brain. They're not supposed to be there. So the issue, this is essentially reducing blood flow in the brain. Now, lower blood flow equals less oxygen in the brain, which leads to brain damage. So in essence, the most important key to preserve your brain health is to optimize blood flow for oxygen and nutrient delivery throughout the brain. The brain is actually a vascular organ with over 400 miles of vessels, believe it or not. So relative to the brain being a vascular organ, that's largely about preserving solid circulation. And we focused on diet last week. When it comes to brain health, it's the anti-inflammatory diet that is the most critical, right? The reality check is the modern diet largely causes more harm than good in this modern day and age, the average diet. We talked about the drawbacks of sugar. We talked about the right and wrong fats. We talked about the pluses and minuses of animal protein and alternative sources of protein. We talked about the elites, of course, the foods that you want to add to your routine always, the foods high in antioxidants, phytonutrients, specific fruits like berries, for example, and the right foods for your digestive health, which is connected to your brain health. And of course, the high chlorophyll foods like kale, arugula, chard, spinach, blue-green algae, basil, mustard greens, right? By the way, I shared this cheat sheet with you in the back of my book, Which Foods Are Which, last week, and my recipes also for making the most nutrient-rich stuff really simple and palatable and easy, right? And I also talked about the right superfoods and supplements like turmeric and blue-green algae, specifically for your brain. We essentially packed just the key information from chapters 1 through 8 in my book last week, Infinity Health Manual, into 30 minutes last week. So check it out if you have not already. Now, I've always emphasized that if there ever was a silver bullet to health, it would be nutrient-rich blood. Circulation of this silver bullet is what preserves the health of everything in the body, especially the brain. Now, it starts with diet, and it works tandem with exercise. That diet is creating the silver bullet with nutrient-rich blood, right? Now, then exercise is like pumping the handle, which circulates the nutrient, oxygen-rich blood to organs, every part of the body, essentially making everything stronger and more resilient to aging, of course. So the exercise and diet together are what are creating that new level of life force, right? Part of the payoff being that it makes the body resistant to invasive diseases by boosting the body's natural immune intelligence that's woven through the body. And of course, boosting the rate at which the body can repair itself. Now, by the way, just most people who have not yet invested the effort to stay physically active through some kind of consistent exercise have just no idea how powerful this combination can be and what they're missing out on, right? That exercise impacts everything in the body, especially the brain. So this is not just burning muscle and fat as high priority as that already is. So at no period in your life do you want to be cutting out on this brain important activity, right? It should always be a foundational part of your life. And what I have to share today, I feel will help boost motivation. So after all, these years of your life are no dress rehearsal for getting healthier later, okay? So, and I may be preaching to the choir here. I'm glad if I am. But this is information that I'm going to be sharing with you here that is for everybody, absolutely. So the obvious connection here when it comes to exercise and brain health, it is that increased oxygen and nutrient-rich blood flow by getting your heart rate up so the body's restorative healing life force can circulate through the brain to work its magic. Now, done properly, as we're going to discuss, exercise essentially becomes a brain therapy. And I never stop being amazed by what I would witness at the Ashram Health Retreat and the Infinity Health Retreat that I do, which, by the way, I do have a special announcement at the end of this class, okay? Now, people would experience the 6 days of solid exercise at these retreats to leave feeling like just different people. And so another big part of brain health connection is that exercise also, here's what we want to talk about here, that the brain is also getting stronger from a stronger spine, from getting your body stronger. The spine, after all, it's a pillar of it's a neurological superhighway through which the brain is exchanging vital information with the rest of the body, and in turn, through which the body takes care of the brain. So a strong body and posture keep that superhighway healthy. So also, another thing is exercise makes brain cells hungry for insulin. Now, we talked about insulin resistance at the brain-blood barrier last week, essentially starving the hippocampus, your memory center. And we talked about how that's linked with sugar, potentially. Now, thankfully, exercise can help to correct that, okay? And then it's also important to consider with exercise the stress connection, that exercise buffers stress temporarily since it burns, exercises, boots out cortisol, the stress hormone, that natural stimulant that the body produced as a response to stress. Now, that is actually a fuel that the body can burn up that you want to get rid of, because cortisol that lingers in the body is in fact an inflammatory. And remember, we're trying to get this anti-inflammatory lifestyle, right? And we're going to focus more on cortisol and stress hormones actually in 2 weeks. So the big factor I want to zero in that is lesser known when it comes to exercise in the brain. The right exercise creates this, what's called acute systemic inflammation, also known as muscle soreness, which actually the brain likes, since the body responds to this by producing a growth hormone which favors the brain specifically. And that is called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, also referred to as BDNF. It's actually a growth hormone produced by the body specifically for the brain when you exercise. And so it is a precursor of neurogenesis, production of more brain cells, more neurons, better neural connections for enhanced synaptic activity, right? Activating these gene programs is a huge benefit of exercise. So ultimately, exercise is growing the brain. It's like a natural miracle grow, literally. So this makes the brain more receptive to neural plasticity. And this is one of the topics we're going to dive into in 2 weeks also. Now, these are all good reasons to break out of the modern paradigm of the sedentary lifestyles, from bed to car, to desk, to couch, then to bed, right? Time to blast that out. Now, I want to go down a punch list of what will make an exercise routine for you successful and manageable. Okay, I worked as a trainer at a health retreat for years and years, and I was able to see just what things are most effective per what you put into it and that people just will do. So, as you know, there are 2 general categories of exercise. There's aerobic, also known as cardio, and anaerobic, which is generally load-bearing. Now, both are important for everyone. So you need to get the heart rate up with the sustained aerobic activity, but you need to build the muscle via the anaerobic activity too. So it's building muscle with load-bearing exercise that your body then naturally burns more calories on a consistent basis. You're essentially building a bigger, stronger engine, which requires more fuel. And then again, you're stimulating that BDNF, growth hormone, for the brain. So the priority isn't necessarily always losing weight, with exercise. It's too often just limited to that in our consciousness. It's part of why it's hard to motivate, right? That we're trying to, again, build strength through the body, which again produces a leaner body, but also a stronger brain. Huge priority. So there is one particular exercise that for the money is the most efficient in terms of both cardio and load-bearing activity. Good news. And it is hiking. We're genetically adapted to a lot of activity, but especially traveling by foot, since for the first 190,000 years as being humans, we were nomadic, foraging for food. It's actually only in the last 12,000 years that we began just the basic version of farming. So it was, like I mentioned, during the 1-week program at the Infinity Health Retreat, we're hiking for 6 days straight. And not everyone was always the most fit, but everybody was able to do it, often to their own surprise. But again, hiking, this travel is this kind of mileage is it's what we're adapted to do, right? So now, of course, generally speaking, we don't have time to hike for hours every day. But even going a few miles at a sturdy pace, 2 or 3 days a week, can have tremendous impact. Okay, and what you're doing is you're getting your heart rate up and you're lifting your body weight as you trek up and down hills. making it the perfect cardio and load-bearing activity all in one. Plus, you're exercising the largest muscles in your body, right? Namely, your gluteus muscles and your quads and your legs, which therefore has the most effect on your metabolism. And you're strengthening your core with these exercises too. And when you're hiking over uneven terrain, you're also exercising your smaller stabilizer muscles. It's a lot of those little muscles that actually all add up. There's a lot you can cover in the body just by walking up and down hills. Okay, so now the popular ways that people try to replicate this kind of physical activity, it's in the gym via stationary bikes and treadmills. Now, these are obviously much better alternatives than not exercising at all. But when you're only doing that same repetitive motion that's offered by a stationary bike or treadmill, you can't really get the same kind of workout provided by hiking and navigating hills. So essentially, all of those stabilizer muscles aren't really working. And you're not getting outside too, which is always the place that I prefer to do at least a portion of my exercise. So, do you live somewhere flat? If yes, no worries. A brisk walk followed by doing a few sets of squats while holding a dumbbell to your chest qualifies as an awesome workout. And so remember that the gluteus muscles in your quads should be your highest priority for enhancing your overall strength. Again, linked to your brain health. So it's actually the seldom done squats and deadlifts that a lot of people don't like, that are hands down the best gym exercises or at home that you can do because they are targeting these bigger muscles. As well as your core strength, and people are intimidated by it because they see big people lifting just like these huge volumes of weight with a bar on their shoulders and deadlifts, and there of course is just like the fear about people tweaking their back. It doesn't have to be that way. Just you can do it just holding like a kettlebell to your chest and just doing higher reps. But just like hiking, bending over or squatting to pick up heavy objects, this is something that humans have been doing for quite some time. Thus, our bodies are well adapted. We're genetically adapted to do these kinds of exercise when you do them right. So don't risk an injury. Do them right. Your best bet is do the lighter weight, higher reps, work with the theme of just getting your reps up, getting your heart rate up. Also, again, like I mentioned, these exercises don't have to be committed to working with a big bar. That just the dumbbells and kettlebells is a great low risk way to get started. I think using the exercise bands, the big rubber bands, can be excellent tools as well. And I really do believe, especially in just these days, a home workout is where it's at. That push-ups are huge, extraordinary to the body, and very underestimated. Actually, I did a video breaking down all of my favorite exercises that I'm talking about now last year, and I am going to commit to doing another one for you. So, but in the meantime, if possible, why not work with a trainer? I do, and I can't recommend it highly enough, truly. So, just in my mind, working with a professional trainer really is just one of the very best ways that you can spend your money. And it doesn't need to be time consuming. With the right kind of intensive exercises, you can just get a lot out of a single hour or even less. Now, believe me, I really have seen the results firsthand through just trainers I've worked with for myself and by my own experience as a trainer. I've witnessed just incredible transformation in people of all body types and starting out at all different levels of fitness. So there just is no question here that a strong body is one of the foundational elements for a strong brain. So remember, so we're talking about doing this for serious purpose here, not just looks. The goal we're making here is to make the brain more resilient to damages from viral infections and up your body's natural defenses to prevent this sort of thing from happening in the first place. So I recommend spending some time with your friends, with your smaller social circle who prioritize their health too. Hire a trainer, and read my chapter on exercise. Because again, we've just packed like my whole chapter into exercise into a very abbreviated version, and there's more to it. Now let's also make this fun. Find activities that you enjoy. It's not all about kettlebells and rubber bands. We talked about the hiking. How about running? How about tennis? Swimming, huge. Soccer, ultimate frisbee, my favorite. Dance, another favorite. And yoga. Yoga, of course, is tried and true for millennia. It's brilliant for a lot of things. And so just remember that I talked about how diet and exercise are working in tandem here. So diet creates that silver bullet, that life force, and then exercise is pumping that handle. And it goes both ways, because after you exercise, you're then nourishing yourself with the superior protein that your body is starving for, right? So the adage that you are what you eat is absolutely true. And the right protein is essential to brain health. That protein, think about this, protein is the second largest matter in the brain, second only to water. So it is important to nourish your brain with protein-rich foods, especially after exercise when your body is really hungry for it. So proteins actually right away after exercise help, anytime you have protein, good quality protein right away, it helps neurons within the brain communicate with each other through neurotransmitters that are made from amino acids, from protein. And so remember, when it comes to brain health and exercise, it's all about stimulating your body's BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, then with the right protein, providing your body the elite resources to allow these growth hormones to work their magic, right? So what is the elite? The elite protein? Infinity protein. I absolutely believe that to be true. I've been using my Infinity protein for a decade, and I can't just emphasize enough how truly amazing it has been for me and for a lot of people. That Infinity protein, it does provide a very unique and uncomparable benefit. And of course, that is just from the fact that it is a superior plant protein. That the superior plant proteins equal superior development of lean muscle, performance of cardiac, smooth, and skeletal muscle fibers in the body. Now, that's the nature of the precision blend of sprouted hemp and brown rice protein and Infinity protein, then enhanced with the key superfoods and enzymes that are part of the formula that take it then all to another level. So, starting your morning with a delicious smoothie with Infinity protein. Yes, I'm endorsing my product. I'm passionate about it. It's a truly health-enhancing meal alternative, or having a smoothie right after a workout. Boom, you're on the road to building that better brain. And the quality of the protein in your diet relative to the quality of your health, as you may know, is a topic I also cover extensively in my book, Infinity Health Manual. Again, all very invaluable material. So again, read it if you haven't already. So, simple, tried and true law of nature. More of the superior plant protein equals a longer and healthier life, brain included. So, just for the cheaper protein products that are out there, sure, you may end up spending less on a plastic tub of soy or whey or pea protein. But unfortunately, you are not doing yourself any long-term favors when it comes to building a healthier brain. So again, read the Infinity Health Manual on the problems that soy, whey, and other processed protein products can cause. So go with Infinity protein. If you haven't tried it before, then now is the time. And actually, I'm going to give you a coupon code right now for 10% off your purchase of Infinity Protein today. And that is just protein 10. So when you add the Infinity Protein to your cart and you're checking out, you just add protein 10, and that's it. And you save 10%. So I really want you to feel the difference I'm talking about. And I guarantee you are going to notice the benefits because the Infinity Superfoods, they all have my name on them. So lastly, speaking of exercise, Taos, do you know about the Infinity Health Retreat that's happening in Taos the last week of September? That's just a month away. This is a week of hiking in the most magical landscape. It's a health retreat based in the beautiful mountains of northern New Mexico. We're going to be eating healthy food, doing daily yoga. You're going to be hanging out with great people. And I'm going to be sharing everything I know about living a superior life in terms of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So there are actually just a few spots left, and you can actually, for this one, email me personally. And just because this is super high priority right now. And so it's just Billy, Billy, at infinitygreens.com. And I'm here to share everything with you. And you're going to get over the top excited. Otherwise, you can call the headquarters and they'll be able to get you in touch with me, 877-291-1990. So that's it. Next week, for part 4, we're going to talk about your sleep. Sleep is, after all, when the brain is rejuvenating itself. It's the glymphatic system, something that was discovered just 10 years ago. We're going to talk about why healthy sleep is vitally important for making your brain resilient to potential damages from viruses, and how sleep is connected to your immune system too. And of course, just what we can do to improve our sleep. So in the meantime, I invite you to get started with everything we've talked about today, which you can do on my website, infinitygreens.com. You can be reading blogs which touch on all of the above topics that we've been covering, okay? So let's motivate together, and just for the sake of living our lives to the full potential, to reveal our greatest more than ever. You know, the body and human spirit needs a boost, and so let's be in on that together, right? Now, thank you for taking the time to participate today. I've actually been receiving a lot of positive feedback, and I'm glad, since this is actually my preferred way to share information like this, especially when the information is urgent. So if you're finding these videos helpful, then definitely share them with your friends, since naturally this helps expand the influence of the information I have to share. And then, of course, spreading the word about the Infinity products is huge too, since they will, of course, offer just the same powerful benefits for your friends that they have for you. And again, I hope you will take me up on that protein offer today. I know you'll be glad you did. All right, stay tuned for our next live session next week on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. See you then. Take care. Bye now. Hey, if you're not on my email list, then you definitely want to be. Just visit infinitygreens.com to start receiving these tips on how to live your best life now. If you've enjoyed this episode of Watching the Better Brain and Health with me, then please like, share, and subscribe on whatever platform you're using to watch. This helps me to reach more people, grow the show, and just getting out more content that supports your overall health and well-being, and everyone else's too. Bye for now.